So today's topic is credit cards and the United States. The United States basically has a big credit card, but we are over $30 trillion in debt. And individually, many people are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card debt. Often they have no idea really about the real cost to borrow or the interest rate, right? It's actually pretty rare to see like a reasonable interest rate. Most of them are in the teens or even 20-30%, and they're just making the minimum payments on the card. So that the really the creation of that has been uh, problematic because people end up extending beyond their means, meaning that they're always in debt and that they're always going to continue to be in debt because they don't have the income today to pay for whatever they want, whether it's a car. Really, the only thing that's really a valid, basically like something to put on credit is like a mortgage, right? Because that's a home. Homes historically appreciate in value, and you get utility out of it. You can live in the home. You can it can be an investment, right? But when you think about vehicles and people going tens of thousands of dollars into debt to finance a vehicle or multiple vehicles or like a television or all these other things, right? It's just crazy, right? You look at people that are even young people have tens of thousands of dollars of credit card debt. So obviously, like the student loan thing is a big one. I don't really necessarily blame. When you're a younger person, you're just kind of told what to do. So I think a lot of people end up going to college and end up going way too much into debt, and they don't get a specific degree, and so they're stuck with 50,000, 100,000, sometimes even more in debt just right out of the gates. And the job that they're able to get coming out of college, it might have a better title, or it might have maybe more prestige, but at the end of the day, you're not making much money, right? You're making maybe a little bit more money maybe than you could if you just started working 4 or 5 years ago. So the college degree is becoming obsolete, I think, in many cases. So many people have it, and it doesn't really differentiate high potential people from low potential people, unless it's a very specific, if you're a doctor, a dentist, like a computer programmer, you're going to need certain certifications. But if you just get a business degree, like for me, for example, I certainly don't think I had to go to college, right? I was kind of told, that you're going to go to college, and that's what, my parents did. And so that was kind of the path that I was on. I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't go like out of state. I went to a community college for the first 2 years. So my college expense compared to, I think, the average person that goes to college was definitely lower. But I don't think I really gained a whole lot from going to college. I think, obviously you maybe get a little bit more intelligent, but if you could have had 4 years of just doing something else, right? If you were doing something productive right out of high school or a year or two after high school, a lot of people that just start working, doing something productive, whether it's a trade or being you could start your own business, doing some sort of trade or service, or, even like truck driving. Oftentimes those people will come out ahead because, they're not sitting in a class for 4 years, and then at the end of it, they don't have any prospect of a job. So you have all that debt, right? People getting student loan debt, then they got to get the newest car, and they don't realize how much all these things cost, right? There's maybe these salespeople that are saying, you can qualify for this car, you can, take this class and do this program, and, don't worry about it today, don't worry about the cost of it today. But now, basically, it's like when the bill comes due, it's like, well, what, I don't have all the money. I'm not making nearly enough money to pay for all these expenses that I took on or all this debt. So it's a big problem. But outside of like student loans and personal vehicles, and I guess some, I guess maybe like a couple personal things, like what do you really need in your house or in your apartment, like a couch and a TV. You can get those on like Craigslist for free almost, or a couple $100. You can get a slightly used couch and a little bit of an older TV that's still nice. My TV is from 2014. It's kind of a thinner, big screen. It's still totally nice, right? I mean, I'm sure the newer ones are better, but this one's not heavy. It's 10 years old almost, and it still works fine. So I don't really know. I don't understand what people are financing beyond a car, beyond student loan. What else is there to really finance, right? I mean, of course you have to eat, and you have to pay your normal bills, but if you have, I think, just a normal income, that should more than cover $1,000 a month for rent and maybe like electricity, right? So I don't know what is all the debt being associated to. I understand people would have a lot of student loans and they maybe have a car that's $20,000 or whatever, but when people have hundreds of thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars in debt, it's just scary because there's no real asset backing any of that debt up, right? You went to school for 4 years, you got maybe what the market would deem a worthless degree, and you still have to pay $100,000 on it. So the school and the university and the professors, they all get paid a lot of money, but you're left holding a bag and you have no marketable degree. You can't go into the market and make any amount of income that's going to be enough for you to meet your loan. So I don't know. It's always like kicking the can down the road. At what point do you have to actually face the consequences of past decisions? If you just keep printing more money or keep saying that people don't have to pay, at what point does that stop? At some point you have to pay back what you did, right? You can't just continuously say, oh, you don't have to pay it, or, we'll worry about it next year. That's what's going on right now with the debt ceiling. If they default on all of these payments and they don't honor their commitments, which they made in the past, the government, then there's going to be chaos, because people that depend on all these entitlements and who knows, it's all these programs, right? I don't even know all of them, but Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, I'm sure there's veterans money in there and things that people have, and maybe it's their only source of income. So if they don't have it, a certain percentage of people have no income. So they won't be able to buy things, won't be able to eat, they won't be able to pay their rent. And that could affect it could affect a lot of people all at the same time. So I find it very unlikely that they're not going to raise the debt ceiling. And it's just a lot of political banter going back and forth. But if they did not do that, the United States would lose a lot of its power, right? Because we would look like an incredibly weak nation. But again, we're already $30-something trillion in debt. So I think inevitably they're just gonna decide to print more money, which is going to be, unfortunately, further inflation, meaning the cost of everything is going to continuously rise. People are going to be squeezed so that they're only really going to be buying the staples and the necessities. Like, I need to have a place to live. I need to have clothes. I'm not going to buy new clothes. And I need to have food in my stomach, right? So I can live. Anything else like TVs, new cars, new computer, vacations, new clothes, entertainment, I think all of that is going to go way down, because it has to, right? There's a certain amount of things you need to survive, and all the other stuff is nice, but you're not going to buy it if you don't have the money. But that's where the credit card comes in. So all these people that have been basically not changing their lifestyle because their income remains basically flat, but the cost of everything goes up. So the difference between your income and where where your cost of living is a credit card. So that's why you have all these people that have credit card debt. And it's a big problem. It's a big problem. The credit card is terrible because it gives you today what you didn't have to sacrifice. I mean, it gives you like a product today or an experience today that you have to pay back later. It's like I hear it oftentimes with like contractors, right? If you pay someone before they do the job, what's their incentive to finish the job? Like if I give you all the money for redoing my bathroom or for painting my house, if I give you all that money today, and then you might think, well, I got busy or I have other jobs that came up and I don't want to go do that job because I already got paid for it and I already spent the money or it's gone. So you never want to pay someone before they do something. Or if you are going to pay them, you just want to give them a small amount, but you want to have them have an incentive to finish the job. So if you just give people a bunch of stuff for free, then they're not going to want to pay it back because they got it for free, essentially free, right? And their budget's always tight, so they don't have the money to pay for something from yesterday. But they should have known that and said, hey, I don't have the money. I'm not going to put it on a credit card because I don't have the money. And if I do put this on a credit card, my life's just going to be harder down the line. But that's, people are only concerned about today, and that's why there's a problem. So many people have credit card debt, and it's crippling them. So let me know what you guys think. It's just kind of interesting because interest rates going up, inflation's going up, the debt ceiling situation, and people are just, getting squeezed. The economy's kind of maybe a little bit tougher in general. So let me know what you think. And as always, have a good day.